Our planet is sitting on a time bomb. Ghana is at the mercy of the drastic impact of climate change, unmitigated sunshine, unpredictable rainfall, and depleting soil fertility, among others. How can the country deal with the threat of climate change while solving some of its basic problems? In a series of human-centered stories, we shine a light on some of the most basic innovative ideas that could help bring change and what the Ghana Climate Innovation Center is doing to scale up these ideas.
Here in Zebula, a small town in the Upper East region, a young entrepreneur is doing something novel in Ghana or maybe in Africa. His company, Neat Eco Feeds, is producing animal feed rich in protein. His raw material is waste from homes, abattoirs and markets.
Throughout Ghana and other parts of Africa, tons of slaughter weights are produced from abattoirs, and what most of them do is that they dump them into water bodies, and others allow them to decay and emitting methane gas and other toxic gases that are affecting the ozone layer and having effects on the climate. And so what we did was that we crafted out of our environmental policy the recycling of the abattoir waste from our own abattoir and that of other abattoirs within the Upper East region. When the suppliers are many. So I want us to build a database.
Lincoln Winimi Pida is the Chief Executive Officer of Neat Meat Limited. He holds a master's degree in business planning and microfinance management from the University for Development Studies, Tamale, Ghana. His business model has a huge impact on climate change and the source of income of 3,000 guinea fowl farmers in Ghana.
There are various forms of animal rearing. We have the intensive and the extensive. And so from your point of view, the extensive kind of rearing is where the animals are allowed to graze openly. And that goes a long way to affect the environment because they graze off all the grass. Some of them even stumble on the soil, and that helps to make the soil very hard, and doesn't augur well for crop production. And so what we do is that our feed, once you have it, the farmers come in for it, their birds and their livestock are housed indoors, and so they are fed on it. And so it helps prevent the incidence of them going out to affect the environment by stumbling on them.
Africa produces less than 1% of the feed produced globally, despite the continent's ever-increasing need to feed its livestock and poultry. The rise of fish meal and soy meal production is causing global issues such as overfishing and deforestation. Meeting the growing demand for protein to feed farm animals requires an alternative source of protein. At Neat Eco Feed, protein means maggot.
These are very, very high in protein. They contain about 60% protein, and they are very suitable for aquaculture, for poultry production, and even for livestock and other piggery projects. And so far, we started in 2018. We have been able to mop close to between 20 to 25 tons of waste from these abattoirs, and we'll be able to recycle that to produce this maggot feed.
Lincoln has a hard-working team in his maggot factory. They ensure that tons of waste collected from the community are processed into healthy maggots. One of them is Kadana Barnabas. He is the maggot production manager.
This is how we go to producing the maggots. The maggots, we go to the various, in the region, we go to the various abattoirs across the region. We have 5 abattoirs that we used to go out to mop up the fecal waste in the abattoirs, and then we extend that we go to the various households to take domestic waste. The maggots, when we get the domestic waste and come to our place, we weigh it because let's say we know different type of waste. So each we weigh 1 kilo, 1 kilo, 1 kilo before we now put inside the machine and mix it, deposit to transfer the first insta levy, that's the black soldier flies or the house fly one, and put inside the tank for them to feed. When they feed, by 1 week time, the black soldier flies, they will grow because it depends the quantity of the feed they are getting. The more let's say the quality of the feed. When they are more in the tank and you give them few feed, they will take long period before they grow. So to make your production go long. So by 1 week to 10 days time, they are ready to harvest to feed your bears. Live one. The dry one, whether you want to use it for dry one, you disnature them. We dry them as you see them on the platform. Dry them there. Another one, we grind it into powder form to use it as a pellet feed to feed the fish.
Once we produce the maggots, they are sold back to our farmers who supply their best to that of neat meat. And so once the processes takes place in neat meat, the waste from neat meat are brought back to EcoFeed, and we do the recycling to produce the feed. And so there's no waste within the production process. And that is how we are helping promote a perfect circular economy operations in what we do.
Neat EcoFeed is gradually gaining some acceptance among some farmers.
Farmers have, for the past years, relied on termites, which they harvest from the wild, which is not sustainable because they have to burn the bush to be able to get a clear environment to mount the termite mounds. And so the reliance on our feed is helping also prevent farmers from burning the bush further. And so our feed, like I mentioned, is cheaper, okay? And it's also easily digestible. For instance, the younger guinea fowls or the kids, their gastrointestinal parts are not well developed to be able to digest the orthodox feed like that of soya and crushed maize. And so our maggot feeds are a bit softer. They are easily digestible. And so when the farmers tried our feed at the initial stages and realized that our feed was more of what the bears needed, they continued to come back, and we continuously have repeated customers who come in for our feed simply because it is digestible, and it also helps reduce the kids' mortality by close to 50%.
Anesthetist at the Zebula Government Hospital, Mr. Jeremiah Tamando, operates a small farm at the subsistence level. He has found the feed from Lincoln's maggots to be very nutritious for his birds.
I think that this is the most effective way of rearing, because since I was introduced to them, anytime I need feed, I call them, they supply me. After feeding my birds and they are grown, they do come to me to also buy. I supply them the birds. They use it for their own business, which I understand they also have a company, a sub-company under the feeding one called Neat Meat. So most of the time they come to my farm to buy the birds in order to supply their customers.
Within the circular economy context, what it pertains is that within your production system, you should be able to make sure that all the waste that you generate are put to good use. And so at Neat Meat, we realize that we process the birds, we process the livestock. What do we have to do with the waste? We do not have to do what others are doing by burying their waste. We have to convert that waste to a resource. We also did our own research and we realized that our supplier farmers, close to 60% of their budget goes to feeding cost. And so we needed to look for an alternative feed that will be able to reduce that cost to at least between 20 to 30%. And so farmers will be able to stay in business because they will make more profits. And once they stay in business, they will produce more for Neat Meat. And so that is the direction in which we came. And so when we recycled the waste to produce the feed, we sold it back to the farmers. And so farmers have a cheaper feed, their cost of production is lowered, they can produce more birds, and Neat Meat can also have a huge supply of its birds. And so the businesses are complementary. They help each other in their operations.
Neat Meat has made several strides in helping poultry farmers produce feed at a cheaper price, created employment opportunities for over 25 people, and protects the environment through their zero waste production cycle. Through GCIC, Neat EcoFeed and Neat Meat have seen some significant improvement in their business model and operations.
The business came to the incubator without that concept. So now Neat EcoFeeds, at the time Neat Meat came into the incubator, there was no company called Neat EcoFeeds. With the intervention of GCIC, there's now a company called Neat EcoFeeds with a number of full-time employees, with a production capacity that is reasonable. But to top it all, with this, he's been able to actually get additional funding.
We see GCIC as a father of our business, because our idea, the maggot production idea, was kind of at the beginning stage. We got into contact with GCIC. They helped model our business. They helped provide technical advice, technical support, and a grant support to get it to the phase in which we are. And after the GCIC, we were able to look for other funding sources from the African Entrepreneurship Award, powered by the BMC Bank of Morocco. We got a grant financing support from the BMC through the support of the GCIC, because we leverage on the support that we got from GCIC to get that award. Then afterwards, we won another award from the Financial Times that was hosted in London in June this year. We won the overall excellence in circular economy innovation. And all that builds up from the support that we got from the GCIC. So the partnership had been so perfect, and we are continually getting support from other donor organizations and other government institutions.
Local solutions like these are important when considering climate action in developing countries. They can provide more effective and more scalable solutions than those adopted from elsewhere.
He recently won another grant of $100,000. And I'm saying this because, but for the future GCIC saw in the concept of developing it into a viable product, the funders of the 100,000 wouldn't have seen what they had started, let alone put that in there. Now, if you go to Zebula today, then you appreciate what I'm talking about. He's set up and is expanding each day, employing people to work in different aspects. So these are real stuff that we are actually working with the businesses to create. And for us, it is heartwarming, it is exciting, because in the end, you look back and you see that you've taken somebody from a zero number of employees, and this is the impact you are seeing today. Beyond the number of people who are employed in terms of job creation, come to think of the impact on the environment. The waste which would have been just churned out into the environment to cause problems and sicknesses and all of that, now is being converted into valuable product that will contribute to economic growth for the country. And these are the sort of things we stand for and we support. So Neat EcoFeeds is one of the businesses we support.
Neat EcoFeeds has the potential to improve the Ghanaian fish and poultry market and become a global player that will compete with industrial global feed manufacturers.
This is a business model that you cannot go anywhere in Africa to go and learn. This is the first of its kind. In Ghana, this is the first of its kind. And so the beginning is tedious. And so we are building up the statistics, we are building up the data, we are building up the human resource, we are building up the expertise, we are building up the research. And so it will take us some time to be able to hit the ground going. And I think we are almost there. We are about 80 to 90% complete. And when we hit the African market, we'll hit the Ghanaian market, we'll hit the Upper East market, we'll make sure that we are the highest feed supplier to serve the aquaculture industry, to serve the poultry industry, to serve the livestock industry, to serve the piggery industry.